Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I have a full body flexibility and mobility training planned for you for this month. It's going to be a little bit focused on the hamstrings specifically. I have a goal of trying to overcome my lifelong fight, if you will, with running. So, I went for a run this morning. I'm working on it. It's more of like a walk run situation, but you guys are kind of subject to the fact that I could use a nice stretch right now to stretch out my hamstrings. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. If you are a runner, or if you love to go for long walks or hikes, or if you just want to stretch out your hamstrings and get a nice total body stretch while you're at it, you're going to love this little routine I've got for you today. So hop into some comfy clothes, join me on a comfy spot on your floor or on your mat, and we will get started. So we're going to start like we normally do in my live class. If you ever joined me there, we get started by focusing on deepening our breath and setting up really good posture so that we can keep that going throughout our stretches and get the most out of them. So go ahead and come to a comfy seat. If that's cross-legged, great. If that's not super comfortable for you, you can bring your legs straight out or tuck them underneath you, whatever is good. And we're just going to take a second to deepen the breath. So try to take a nice deep breath in through the nose if you can, and then out through the nose. Go ahead and bring your shoulders back and down, really opening up in the chest. Continue to take nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. And we're going to think about our posture. So try to pull your belly button in towards your spine. Think of someone pulling a string from the top of your head. So we're sitting up nice and tall here. Good. Take a couple more deep breaths in and out. We're going to try to keep that going throughout our stretches today. And go ahead and look over your left shoulder. Then come through center. Look over the right. Then come through center. Look over the left shoulder again. Then come through center. Look over the right. Good. And then bring your chin to your chest. Stretching through the back of the neck, then gently look up, stretching through the throat, and then down one more time, and then up. Good. And then go ahead and bring your fingertips to your shoulders. We're just going to do small circles here with the elbows warming up in the back and shoulders. You can reverse the direction of your circles. Good. And then go ahead and lower that down. We're just going to do a gentle spinal twist to finish warming up in the spine and the rest of our body. So go ahead and bring your fingertips or your left hand down to the floor beside you. Your right hand is going to come to your left knee. Take a big breath in to sit up nice and tall, and then exhale to turn and gently look past your left shoulder. So just come to a point here where you feel this nice stretch through the side body. We don't want to push into this. With all of our stretches, we don't want to feel any pain. So if you feel pain, or if you feel like you're holding your breath or you're not able to maintain our good strong posture, that's your cue to take a modification. And go ahead and come through center. We're going to go to the other side. Big breath in to sit up nice and tall, and then exhale to turn to gently look over your right shoulder. So if at any point you feel any discomfort or it just feels like it's not working for your body today, go ahead and back out of the stretch that we're in and come to a place that feels good for you. That's always our goal, to find movement that feels good for our body today. Big breath in, and then exhale to come through center. We're going to move into some of our bigger stretches now. So go ahead and come to a seat with your legs stretched out in front of you. We're going to bring our legs really together here. We're going to flex our feet so our toes are going to be pointed up. Take a second to situate yourself. You can bring your hands to the tops of your thighs, and we're going to try to just sit up nice and tall for a couple of breaths here. So the muscles in our legs are engaged, they're working. We're going to feel our core start to work even just sitting here, pulling your belly button in, feeling that support through your midline, looping your shoulders back, nice, strong through the back as you look straight ahead. If you're tight in the hamstrings like I am all of the time, you might already be feeling a little bit of a stretch in the back of the hamstrings here. But on a big breath in, we're going to bring our arms up, reaching up, growing a little taller. And then exhale, we're going to fold over, holding onto your feet if you can. Or if you can't comfortably reach your feet, you can hold onto your shins. Wherever your hands naturally fall, you can stay up nice and tall here, and you can bend your knees as much as you need to. Maybe even start with your knees bent, bringing your forehead towards your knees, getting a nice stretch through the back, and of course, a nice stretch in the hamstrings. So we're going to take a couple of cycles of breath in and out here. If your knees are bent, the longer you're in this stretch, maybe you can start to straighten your legs a little bit. Really getting that stretch in the hamstrings. And take a couple more deep breaths in and out here. Good. On your next exhale, you can slowly roll back up to your seat. Okay, we're going to bring our legs wide here. So not anything crazy. We're not trying to do splits. Just come to a point where you feel a nice stretch in your inner thighs. We're going to flex our feet up again so our legs are working right away. And we're going to try to stay seated with a nice tall spine here for a few breaths. Already we're working. Already it's a little bit of a challenge. And go ahead and reach your left hand for your left foot when you're ready, getting a nice stretch through the side body, stretching out the hamstrings of your left leg. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out here. Good, and then we'll go ahead and reach right hand for right foot. Same thing on this side. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Good, and then go ahead and come back up to your nice tall seat. We're going to bring our right foot in up against our left inner thigh. Left leg is going to stay extended. Left foot is still flexed, so our toes are still reaching up. The muscles in our left legs are working. Take a second to loop your shoulders back and down. And you might shift your hips just like a millimeter towards the left so that we're facing our left leg. On a big breath in, lift your arms up, and we're going to fold over our left leg. So again, bend your knee as much as you need to, holding onto your foot or wherever your hands naturally land, bringing your forehead down towards your knee. We're really going to let that right knee open up so we're getting a big stretch in the right hip, as well as stretching out the left leg, the side body. There's a lot going on here. Take a few cycles of breath in and out. Maybe you straighten your leg a little bit the longer that we're here, or maybe not today, and that is totally fine. And then on an exhale, you can gently roll up and we'll go to the other side. So shifting just slightly to face our right leg now. Foot is flexed, muscles are working. Big breath in to reach up, and then exhale to fold over. And this side is going to feel a little bit different. Each side does, especially with the hips. So just be patient with yourself. With consistency, you keep showing up, you keep doing this work, you're going to see a difference. Even if you are like me and you feel like you're not naturally flexible, you'll definitely see a difference the more that you practice this. Take a couple more deep breaths in and out here. Good, and then on an exhale, you can slowly roll up. We're gonna come to our uncrossed crossed legs. So go ahead and bring your left foot in up against your right inner thigh, and then right foot is gonna come out in front. So we're gonna really stretch out this right hip. Go ahead and bring your fingertips to the floor in front of you. We're gonna try to keep our tailbone on the floor. It might want to come up a little bit as we move forward into the stretch. So we're going to try to keep it planted. And nice and slow, start to walk your fingers out in front until you feel a big stretch in this right hip. So it's going to be different for everyone. It's going to be different on each side. Just come to a point where you feel that stretch. Maybe it feels good to come flat onto your palms here. Maybe to even come all the way down onto your forearms, bringing your head towards the floor. Wherever you are at, take a few deep breaths in and out, really stretching out that right hip. Good. One more big breath in. And then on your exhale, you can slowly come back up. We'll switch to the other side. Getting a nice stretch now for the left hip. So again, be patient. Just see how this side feels. Might be a little bit different. My left hip is always a little tighter. So come to a spot where this feels good. And then take a few cycles of breath in and out. Good. One more big breath in, big breath out as you slowly come up. And then we're going to move forward onto all fours in our tabletop. So take your time getting there. We're just going to be here briefly. So go ahead and bring your hands about underneath your shoulders, fingers spread wide, pressing into our fingertips to take a little bit of pressure off our wrists, and then knees about underneath your hips. And then on a big breath in, you're going to lift your right leg straight out behind you, and then bring it through, step it up outside your right hand. So we're coming into this wide stance here, this wide low lunge or mountain climber stretch. Take a second, rock forward and back, getting a little bit of mobility in this right hip flexor. And then we can tuck up here, maybe walking your left knee out a couple of inches, really leaning into this right hip. If you want to add on to this, you can extend your left arm up and over. Your right arm can kind of hang out on your right thigh. big breath in. And then exhale, bring it on down. And then you can curl those left toes under, lift your left leg for support, and then come back to your tabletop. We'll take it to the other side. So extending through the left leg, nice and strong. Step it up outside your left hand into this wide mountain climber stretch. Rock a little bit forward and back. Getting a little bit of mobility in this left hip. And then we can tuck up, maybe walking our right knee back a little bit, really leaning into the stretch. And then you can extend your right arm up and over. Big breath in and then exhale to bring it all down. Great job. So go ahead and bring your feet flat on the floor in front of you. We're going to do a little inner and outer rotation for the hips. So bring your hands to rest behind you for support, but we're going to try to not dump our weight into our hands. We're going to still have that nice strong back, pulling our shoulders back, opening through the chest. And go ahead and bring your knees over to the left side of your mat. A nice inner and outer rotation in the hips. And then bring your knees over to the right. And we'll come over to the left again. And over to the right. We're going to do this a couple more times, just getting a little bit of movement in the legs and the hips. Still breathing deeply. One more time each side, over to the left, and then over to the right. Great job. Now we're going to do a seated figure 4. So go ahead and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. You can use your hands for a little bit of support here. You can bring them back behind you. That nice, strong, straight line through the back, opening in the shoulders and chest. And we want to try to pull our left knee down a little bit. So we're getting this big stretch in the left hip. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out here. This is going to be our last stretch for this little sequence today. I hope you guys are feeling nice and stretchy. You got some good stretches for the hamstrings, the back, the hips. If you've been working on your feet or you've gone for a long hike or a run, this should feel really nice. Good. On your next exhale, you can go ahead and release that. Switch to the other side. And take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Good. One more big breath in, and then go ahead and release that. We can return to our comfortable seat. Just take a second to let all of the nutrients of our stretches kind of settle before we go through the rest of our day. You can take a little bit of movement in your shoulders, in your neck. See how you're feeling. See if maybe you can sit up a little bit taller now. We'll take one more really big breath in, the biggest breath we've taken yet today. Bring your shoulders up by your ears as you inhale, and then go ahead and sigh it out. Relax your shoulders down. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. Like it, subscribe if you want to keep up to date with my videos on this channel. Thank you so much for showing up, and I hope to see you again soon.